Just as shadows are cast where there is light, history hides away more than one truth.
Mark Religioso is here from Bandai Namco. We're going to talk about Soulcalibur VI. I am so pumped for this game. I've always loved this franchise. We were talking just before we were rolling. 20 years for the Soulcalibur brand, but Soul Edge came out a year before that, right?
Yeah, definitely. Soul Edge, the original arcade release, debuted in 1997. The original Soulcalibur on consoles, 1998. So it is literally a lifetime of Soulcalibur.
That is awesome. All right, Soulcalibur VI has got a bunch of new things in it, new characters, new moves. What would you say kind of typifies this experience? What makes it unique for the franchise?
I think when you think about Soulcalibur, I'm a big fighting game guy too, but really sets Soulcalibur apart is its weapon-based gameplay, right? So if you look through the history of the franchise, what you remember are kind of these unique characters and the weapons they wield. It's all about the weapons, right? Whether it's like Soul Edge or Ivy with her kind of like sword whip. I think that's what makes Soulcalibur unique.
Or Killick with the staff.
Definitely, yeah. Killick with the bow staff, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Now, one of the things that I know about Soulcalibur 2 is that it was a real introduction to 3D mechanics. It wasn't just 3D in name only. You had a lot of ability to kind of maneuver around your opponents, and that still remains with Soulcalibur 6.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, the Soulcalibur franchise actually coined this term 8-way run, which is 8-way directional input. So you can almost run freely in the 3D space. So, you know, obviously you have your 2D fighters, but when you have a 3D fighter, it definitely changes the game because you can move in and out of the background and sidestep, which makes it a ton more difficult, but a lot more fun.
Is that what you notice when you watch sort of the tournament level players, is that they know how to utilize the full three-dimensional space a little bit better than somebody that's coming off of, you know, sort of head-to-head 2D type of experience?
Yeah, definitely. I think when you add that 3D element into any kind of competitive or tournament play, it just changes the whole game up. You know, some characters are actually bad at sidestepping, or some of them have a bigger hitbox, so sidesteps aren't actually good for them because they can get hit by a lot of different things. So it really sets it apart. Those guys that actually play at a really high level, they basically know their own character, but every other single character on the roster too. So it's just amazing what these guys can do.
I'll put on a good show for you.
You've got all of these sort of clash type scenes that start happening in Soulcalibur 6. That's a new thing in the franchise, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, Okubo-san, the producer, you know, he led the efforts in Tekken. We added a lot of new mechanics in that game too. And, you know, the Power Crush, the Rage Art, these are kind of very cinematic kind of moves that not only kind of make it cool for a spectator to watch, but also very satisfying for a player to actually use. So no different here. So there's a bunch of new stuff in Soulcalibur. There's something called Reversal Edge. It's kind of like the supreme defense, but also has offensive properties to it too. So basically what it is, let's say there's a really kind of aggro-aggressive person coming onto you. You can hit this Reversal Edge button, hold it down, auto-parry attacks, and then land your own counter-strike to actually deliver a combo or whatnot and do some massive damage. But at the same time, if you're a spectator watching that, it looks amazing. It looks crazy,
You've got Geralt in this game. Yes, very cool, very cool. Tell me how that came about, because this must have been a pretty big deal for CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you think about Geralt, you look at him like, you're like, wow, he is perfect for the Soulcalibur universe, right? What's very, very cool is that our European office actually published The Witcher 3 in their territory, so the relationship is long-standing, and you know, we have a really good working relationship with those guys, so it just made perfect sense when we put Geralt in Soulcalibur.
Let's do this.
So tell me about some of the new modifications or the new, you know, moves or weapons or outfits that we're seeing on familiar characters like Killick and Sophatia and the other ones that we know and love, Ivy.
Yeah, I think where we can start just kind of in general what's new about Soulcalibur. Obviously, it's for the first time going to be on PC. Huge, you know. We understand that the PC audience is gigantic. Obviously, we've seen Tekken succeed on that platform. Also, it's the first time it's rendered out on Unreal Engine 4, so that's why the game looks as beautiful as it does. In terms of mechanics, besides Reversal Edge, there's something called the Soul Charge. It's a pretty cool feature where you actually can power up and deal more damage, and you actually have access to a whole new set of moves. So, you know, if you're playing against someone and they activate that Soul Charge, they can totally mix up their game plan and strategy because they have access to all these new tools.
I knew you would say that.
And are you planning a little bit of the esports competitive kind of tournament type of stuff that you were doing with Tekken? And congrats on that, by the way.
Right on. Thank you. Thank you. I think, our approach at least from Bandai Namco is, you don't develop an esports title.
Yeah.
You basically have to have, the game will come out, the community will support that esports kind of feel for it.
Yeah.
So once a game is out and, the fan base has a taste for something like that, then we'll definitely look into executing programs like the Tekken World Tour and stuff like that.
Awesome. And I know Switch owners are going to be pissed at me if I don't ask about that, but this would be an amazing game on a Nintendo Switch. Is there any possibility of that ever happening?
The Switch has been performing amazing. Like, so many of my friends have it, and they're like, how come you haven't joined the Switch gang yet? And I'm just like, I got no time. I got PC, I got an Xbox One, I got a PS4. Right now, we have no plans for Switch at the moment, but we're super excited that it's performing well, and, time will tell.
Come fight me anytime. I'll be waiting.